Hi, everyone. My name is Mathias. Great to be here today. And a little bit about me. Well, so I have this company called Beyond the Data, but that's only one part of me. And so Beyond the Data, though, I'll tell you a little bit about. It's focused on helping companies with data culture, with data literacy. And in addition to that, though, one of the big focuses is on community. So I'm involved a lot in the data and analytics community. So organizations like the Twin Cities Data Visualization Group, Mini Analytics, which is a community-based analytics group in the Twin Cities. So, whatever around data, I'm probably involved in, especially if you're in Minnesota. But I'm actually calling today in from Marrakesh, Morocco, because I'm traveling for a few months. Great to be here today, Kate.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dave, for making time to be on Humans of Data Science, and welcome to the show. First, tell us, why are you in Morocco? What's going on there?
So I'm on this program, this 4-month program called a remote year, and it's actually not a remote year, but it started as a 12-month program. But they have the 4-month program. So I was in Cape Town, South Africa last month, Marrakesh, Morocco this month, and then there's going to be 2 months in Portugal and in Spain for the next 2 months. And so it's this program. Part of it's also wanting to, just like yourself, you're working from home. I want to be able to work from anywhere, and so I thought it was a good test. If you can work from, Africa for a couple months and Europe for a couple months, you must be able to be remote and do your business remote.
Wow, that's great. That was actually my first question that I prepared for you today was, tell me more about remote year. So it's not an actual year you're saying, it's just kind of a few months here and there?
Yeah, well, so they actually have a 12-month program, so you can sign up for a 12-month and do 12 months around the world. And so that's how it started out for the first 4 or 5 years. That's what they did. And now they've opened up these 4-month programs. So they have Asia 4-month program, a Europe, Africa program, and then also like a South America, Central America program for 4 months. So I chose being in Minnesota, normally I wanted to get out of winter. So likely it's like, okay, go to South Africa. So we went down to Cape Town, and like the sun would come out at 5:30 in the morning. It would be, sunny until like 8:30 at night. And it was beautiful weather with the ocean all around. It was like just the, coming from Minnesota where it was like freezing and ice and all that. It was just an base.
Are you ever coming back to
Well, actually, I will be coming back in a few weeks. So I'm going to get a little touch of winter, and then I'm leaving again right away to finish off the program. So I have a wedding anniversary that I'm going to go back home. And yes, I'm married. So yes, coming back home for a couple weeks and then coming back out.
That's probably good for your marriage then. Congratulations.
Yes.
All right. Well, in your introduction, you mentioned, kind of being focused on helping others in the community. So can you just talk more about how you're planning to help others with, data literacy and the type of work that you do there?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's something that we're still forming and how we're doing that. Certainly, we have our podcast, which we have out there, and, I'm involved in a lot of groups that are all involved around this concept of data literacy, or, whatever you want to call it, the buzzword nowadays, data literacy. But at the same time, there's also some things that Matt and I have been talking about, on like a nonprofit or a foundation or something like that to try to form around this whole area too. And even getting involved with, with Jordan and collecting what they're doing with the Data Literacy Foundation too. But saying things that we're doing now, certainly the podcast, Data Able Podcast, is one avenue that we're trying to put out a lot of information that we hope is helpful to folks. And then just getting involved with Mini Analytics, getting involved with the Twin Cities Data Viz group, and we actually started what's called a Twin Cities Data Fluency group. Whether it's data fluency or data literacy, we're trying to get that conversation going in the Twin Cities more. So just another avenue of trying to sort of spur interest, spur the curiosity. But one thing that I know you're involved with and looking to do is more towards that younger generations, like how do you help children in that space? So that's something that we've also been talking about, is like how do you sort of go down, and because people should be data literate not when they're in professionals, they should be data literate when they're kids, just like math, right? It's something you should learn when you're young. And so how do you help more of that? And of course there's some programs like MIT has done some stuff with their media lab and put some content out there. So trying to figure out ways to try to sort of push down that funnel and see if there's ways that we can sort of get a little traction there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and also on your profile, when I was researching you a bit more, I saw that you guys have this 6-week data literacy accelerator we're beyond the data. So I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so one of the things that we talk about is data champions in organizations. So those are really the people that are, some people call them data evangelists, some will say data translators, but people that they could come from like a data analyst role, but they could come from a business role. But the whole idea is that, how do you become that person that becomes a voice at grassroots in your organization? And so our data literacy accelerator is geared at trying to help those people enhance that dynamic, being better data champions and being that voice within their organization. So how can they be more effective in that form? So that's it's 6 weeks, it's remote, so that people can do it from anywhere, but it's team-based. And so it's very much in the mindset of, I don't know if you follow at all Seth Godin and what he's doing with the All MBA.
Yeah.
But it's a takeoff of some of the things that he's doing in that old MBA, but applying it to data literacy, and so and really that data champion group.
Smart. So, are you targeting any specific industries for this program, or is it just everyone?
Yeah, it really is everyone. It tends to be more medium or larger organizations, but we're open to nonprofits or small organizations also. But really, it's organizations that have people identified that either want to be data champions, they think they'd be good data champions, or people that are sort of in that data champion role, whether it's official or not, because it's never an official title, right? I mean, rarely, it's have those titles, but yeah, you want to make those people better, you want to reward them for their efforts, and continuing education is always one of those areas.
Yeah, and given that it's remote, I guess anybody from across the world can participate, right?
Exactly. And so when you're talking about industries, one of the things that we also try to be careful is, like, when we have different companies and obviously different competition within the same accelerator, designing teams so that, you have people from different industries participating together in those teams, because it's a cohort and those cohorts are broken down in teams. So how do you form those teams so that people will both be able to share more willingly? Like, you don't want two large retailers competing against each other, in the same team. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. All right. So outside of data literacy and data fluency and all that stuff, what do you like to do for fun?
Man, it's just a long list. So anything with a racket, if it's a sport. So tennis, squash, whatever. Like, love the racket sports. Have all my life. So that's on the sporting side. But travel, obviously, because I'm, as expressed here. But one of the things I really like. So this is maybe an addiction it's become, because I'm in over 80 meetup groups, like, yes, 80 meetup groups in the Twin Cities, and not that I go to everyone every month, obviously, but I do go to a lot, and so that probably is a hobby in itself, but it crosses the whole gamut, everything from like a table tennis meetup, once again a racket, to things that are like a science of people. We have or behavioral science meetup. We have all these different types of things in the Twin Cities, and it's just good to get involved. And I believe being cross-disciplined and just like meeting a lot of different folks. So.
Okay, wow, very interesting. Haven't come across that one before. 80 meetup groups. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that was after getting rid of one of my friends. Is like, you need to get rid of some of those, and like I got rid of maybe 25 meetup groups, and then I added about 20 more then after the last year, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so maybe there's an addiction that I'll have to start on my own, meetup anonymous group. But I do think just people and connecting with other people, like we've been lucky to connect, and you were on our podcast, or it's going to be out soon. So like. I think these things are like a great opportunity, whether you connect with people in your community or whether you connect virtually. But then also I'm involved in some other nonprofits, such as the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation and Allied People Solutions, and some different nonprofits in the Twin Cities that are also just another way that I'd like, outside of the normal day job, to say, hey, how do you get involved and just be part of the community?
Wow, that's great. All right, Dave, so the last question I have for you today is, if you had any superhuman power, like you can get a superpower, what would it be?
Excellent. Superpower time. I love superpower. Hey, I love Marvel and like all that stuff. Although there's been too many Marvel movies, but getting off that. So my favorite power would be probably invisibility. I would say that invisibility is I think, being able to, just go around and observe the world
Yeah.
and not impact the world. It's like I used to be an organic chemist.
Hmm.
And I was saying, like anytime you experiment, you're impacting things, right? So
Yeah.
how can you just go around the world and observe and so I have a disability.
That's very interesting. Sorry, when you said invisibility, I started thinking of you like at the meetup groups, kind of invisible and just hanging out at the meetup groups. All right, Dave. Well, thank you so much for making time for this again. And
Just
great
send
having
the
you
different
here.
chairs. Thanks, Kate. Have a great day.
All right. Bye.